Hi folks, and welcome to another edition of the Salty Seaman. Today I'm going to give you part one of my top 30 military related movies. Now I'm not going to put these in order simply because it's too difficult. There's too many different things you have to quantify. And I know a lot of people like say this has to be number one, this has to be number 10. I'm just giving the top 30 that I think are just the best military related movies. And I'll give you the first 10 I came up with. Sure, there's 20 more down the line. This will be in 3 parts. So let's start off right away. Number 30, we got Mr. Roberts. Now this is an older movie, early 60s. It's a tale of World War II. It's a tale of a lowly supply ship and the XO who is put in charge of kind of keeping the peace and making it run, while the captain, who is qualified but kind of an asshole, and how he has to kind of deal with him. This movie, as old as it is, still rings true with the modern Navy. Just the detail of the crew and the interaction from a sailor standpoint still rings true. It doesn't feel corny or outdated like a lot of older movies get. This movie really holds up and can be enjoyed by any sailor today or any movie fan today. Number 29, Full Metal Jacket. I don't have more detail I can get in this movie. I've already done a bullshit on it. It's definitely one of my favorite movies of all time, mostly for the first half, which I feel is one of the most superiorly strong bits of cinema ever done. It's definitely the ultimate part of boot camp that's ever been put on film and will never be touched. A lot of that is the character, the guy, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, the guy playing Pyle, Joker, and especially Arlie Ermy, who was just made for that role, and it works because he was a former drill instructor, and it's just amazing. And then even the second part, with its flaws, is interesting too. You know, man's inhumanity to man, just a lot of things that were going on in Vietnam that they touch on. From a personal standpoint, having a combat correspondent, a journalist out there as the main character, you know, is really cool. And it'll bring us to another person in my career field in a movie starring Robin Williams, which we'll touch on in another video. You know, there's been 2 Vietnam movies made in my career field, which I'm excited about. But, you know, this is one of Kubrick's finest movies, especially the first half. It's an absolute recommendation, one of my absolute favorites. I can watch the boot camp scenes over and over again. Number 28, Inglourious Basterds, Quentin Tarantino's war movie. It's a World War II movie based on a special ops group that goes in with the idea of killing Nazis behind lines. They know their lives are forfeit, they don't care, and eventually turns into a plot to kill Hitler. Spoiler alert, they do, which definitely places the Tarantino universe, which it is a universe, into its own thing, and why things are different, why things work different in their own universes. Yeah, just so many great scenes. The scenes in the bar where they're trying to fake German, you know, just Brad Pitt just talking about killing Nazis, which I never can get enough of killing Nazis. I really can't. I love them. I love seeing them punched. I love seeing them shot. So, I mean, it's Quentin Tarantino. It's his style of movie, and it's his take on the war, on a war movie, and it's fantastic. Number 27, Platoon. Maybe the best Vietnam movie ever made. I go with this by my dad, an actual Vietnam vet. 3 tours in Force Recon. He knows his shit about Vietnam. He's the guy who I go to as this is the real shit. That's the only movie he's ever said was the real shit. The shit that gave him flashbacks. Why? Because it's done by Oliver Stone, an actual Vietnam vet who wrote and directed it and made sure it was authentic. And oh boy, is it authentic, down to the dialogue, the scenes, you know, how they're actually fighting the war. No other Vietnam movie has come close to touching that. And it's a brilliant piece of work. It's gritty, it's rough to get through if you've never seen it, but if you want to know anything about how Vietnam actually was, this is the movie to watch. Number 26, Saving Private Ryan. Maybe the best World War II movie ever, which is tough because there's a ton of World War II movies, but this one is so well done. I don't have to praise it too much. I mean, the opening scenes of Normandy is maybe the most realistic war footage ever shot for a fictional movie. You know, every veteran at the time who was in that war said, like, yes, that was absolutely correct. The only thing they couldn't get was the smell, which you can't do yet. Not yet. And then the rest of the story, you know, finding this one guy and getting him out of the war just because his brothers died, which people feel is unfair, and you're wasting all these time and resources and lives, people are dying, to get this one guy back home to his mom because all his brothers died. You know, there's a moral quandary there. There's, you know, the moral quandary with having the one lone German guy and they let go, and eventually he comes back and kills one of them. And of course Tom Hanks is just beautiful acting. He does such a good job on it, and this whole movie is just maybe one of the greatest movies ever done, much less one of the greatest military movies ever done. On a more comedic level, we get to 25, Down Periscope. I've done this military movie bullshit on it. I fucking love this movie. It is hilarious. There are a lot of military details done right in this movie, which they don't really have to because it's a comedy. You know, a lot of my comments pointed out, I was like, hey, it's comedy, why are you picking at it? I was like, I pick at it because it's fun. But overall, I actually really do enjoy this movie. I love Kelsey Grammer in this. I love, you know, little bits, you know, Rob Schneider, who I usually don't like very much. He plays a great villain. Just the characters of a submarine. I've said so many submariners said, like, you know, the technical details are all wrong, but the characterization of the submariners is correct. Of all things a comedy gets right, is like they've completely identified with these guys, and it is so fucking funny. And if you just like a good military romp comedy, this is the best choice you could probably make. Number 24, another comedy, Stripes. A little weirder, but you know, this is mostly an army boot camp movie, a movie where they don't shave their heads, which, you know, the thing, but it's Bill Murray, and Bill Murray don't want to shave his head, but it's just a super funny movie, and it's a character-driven movie, looking at these different characters as they're going through boot camp. It's the early 80s, it's, you know, no time of war, you know, joining the service isn't a, you know, considered a great thing like it is now. You know, it's kind of looked down upon, and it's an interesting comedy based on that time of where it came out of. A lot of great lines, you know, lighten up Francis, if you ever heard that, that's where it comes from. It's from this movie. Definitely worth checking out if you've never seen it. Number 23, another Navy movie, The Last Detail. This is a Jack Nicholson movie about a person in TPU, Transient Personnel Unit, gets put on a detail of doing an MP duty to take a kid to the brig who's fucked up in the Navy. Another interesting character thing, like the Navy's kind of a backdrop here. It's more of the character of the kid he's bringing, and Jack Nicholson's character, I believe it was a QM2. It's been a while since I've seen this movie, but it's one of the ones that always pops in my head. I always love, of course, the great line where he comes in belligerently drunk in the bar, and the bartender threatens to call Shore Patrol, and he's like, I am the fucking Shore Patrol, and puts his sidearm down on the table. You know, and just his coming to an understanding with this kid he's taking to the brig, and kind of showing him a last little bit of good time before, you know, his life is essentially over. It is just a fantastic movie, and the military kind of becomes a backdrop on it. Can't recommend it enough. 22, going back, not in the U.S. military, we're going to talk some Spartan military. 300, very stylized, historically inaccurate, but it doesn't mean it's not a badass movie. If you're into machismo and military teamwork and being badass, bunch of brothers, you can't go wrong with 300. It's a highly stylized, very fictionalized version of the Spartans versus the Persians during that era, BC, but it's a very good story of, like, you know, a king and 300 of his men going against a much larger army, and how they, you know, basically hold them off as long as they can till they're all going to die, and they all know they're going to die. And, you know, just the tactics they use, and, you know, it's a lot of superlative bullshit and giant animals and whatnot, but it's so fucking cool, and it's just fun to watch, and it'll just get you into kill mode. So absolute recommendation just for the bravado of it. And 21, last one for this video, Glory. First delve into Civil War on this list. It's about the first band of Union soldiers who are an all-black company going to fight against the Confederacy in the Civil War. It's a great, there's a lot of great battle scenes in this. Along times there's a lot of great politic on, you know, black and white and the nature of classes and racism at the time. Even come from the level of the people who were fighting supposedly for these black people, but how they're still getting treated, you know, and whether or not they'll ever actually get to go, you know, fight what they signed up for. And a lot of good character studies of guys who came from, you know, some who'd never been in slavery, some who'd ran away from it, and how they interact. You know, the intellectuals versus the field slave and the house slave. You know, just so much good stuff in this movie. It's one of the better movies ever made. You know, just the young colonel, white colonel, trying to figure out how to do this. Morgan Freeman, that's so many good. I can't even name it. I think it was nominated for Best Picture, which it should have been. Probably won some awards, but definitely worth checking out. Among other Civil War movies, this is a great one to put in your bank. So that's going to do it for part 1 of Top 30 Military Movies of All Time, as chosen by the Salty Seaman. So I hope you check them out. Check out my future videos. Check out some of my past videos. You know, got lots of more cool stuff like this coming up. Just moving into the house. Just got about everything settled. You know, hope you like trying to get some new stuff going on. Make it look a little snazzier, a little spiffier. That's all the Salty Seaman's got for now. I love you guys. See you later, freaks. Peace.